Hey guys, welcome back to Mind Your Conversions, brought to you by Fiverr. If you're new here, this is where we break down the art and science of marketing with our hosts, Liv and Max. They will help you understand marketing better, explore fresh strategies, and most importantly, drive higher conversions. So whether you're a seasoned pro, or even if you're just getting started, you're at the right place.
Okay, imagine this. You're trying to book a flight on your phone, right? And the website is just a nightmare. Tiny buttons, drop-downs that never end. Can't even find the Book Now button.
Oh, sounds frustrating.
Oh, it is. And it's a classic example of what happens when you have terrible mobile CRO. And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Mobile CRO, the make or break factor for businesses in today's mobile-first world.
Yeah, exactly. We're going deep into the source material you gave us, an excerpt from Shashank Mishra fiber sample, mobilecro.pdf. By the way, some of the stats in here are kind of mind-blowing.
Oh, I bet. What kind of things are we talking about?
Oh, for instance, get this. Mobile users are like 5 times more likely to just abandon a website if it's not optimized. 5 times.
Wow, that's a significant number. And it really underscores why understanding mobile CRO is no longer optional. It's absolutely essential.
Right. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, maybe you can give us a quick formal definition of mobile CRO. What are we really talking about here?
Sure. At its core, mobile CRO is all about creating a seamless and intuitive mobile experience that guides users toward taking a specific action. Whether that's making a purchase, signing up for a newsletter, or downloading an app, it's about optimizing every step of the mobile journey to increase those all-important conversions.
And it's not just about aesthetics, right? It's about understanding how people actually use their phones, what their mindset is when they're browsing on a smaller screen.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that mobile users are often on the go, multitasking, seeking quick answers or solutions. They have different expectations and behaviors compared to someone sitting at their desktop.
It's like, think about it. You're on the train, you've got a few minutes before your stop, and you're trying to find a restaurant nearby. You need information fast, you need it to be easy to navigate, and you definitely don't want to be squinting at tiny text or wrestling with a clunky interface.
Exactly. And the stakes are higher than ever. Over 60% of internet traffic now flows through mobile devices. So if your mobile experience is subpar, you're potentially alienating a huge chunk of your audience.
It's almost like you're slamming the door in their face before they even have a chance to step inside.
And that's where that statistic you mentioned earlier really hits home. Mobile users are 5 times more likely to abandon a task if a website isn't optimized. That's a staggering potential loss for businesses that don't prioritize mobile CRO.
Yeah, and the source material really drives that point home. It's not just about missed opportunities, it's about leaving money on the table.
Absolutely. And on the flip side, imagine the possibilities when you get mobile CRO right.
Okay, now you've got me intrigued. Let's talk about those possibilities. What do businesses stand to gain by investing in mobile CRO? What's the upside?
Well, for starters, picture a world where conversions happen at lightning speed. Streamlined checkouts, one-click payments, forms that practically fill themselves out.
Now, that's music to my ears.
Yeah.
No more wrestling with those tiny keyboards and endless form fields. Sign me up.
But it's about more than just speed, right? It's about crafting a visually engaging experience that caters to the user's preference for impactful imagery and concise information. Remember, on a small screen, every pixel counts. You need to capture attention and deliver value quickly.
It's like the difference between a billboard on a busy highway and a detailed brochure. The billboard needs to grab your attention instantly with a bold message and striking visuals.
Exactly. And another advantage is improved local reach. Think about searching for a nearby coffee shop on your phone. With effective mobile CRO, finding directions, store hours, or even a click-to-call button should be effortless. It bridges the gap between online browsing and real-world actions.
Makes it so much easier to take that next step. What about the impact on mobile ad spend? I mean, so many businesses are pouring money into mobile advertising, but are they getting the most bang for their buck?
Well, a well-optimized mobile landing page is crucial for converting those ad clicks into actual customers. If someone clicks on your ad but lands on a page that's slow, confusing, or visually unappealing, they're likely to bounce right back to Google.
So you're paying to bring people to your doorstep, but if the house is a mess, they're not going to stick around.
Exactly. And a significant part of keeping that house in order is minimizing abandonment rates. Think about those sticky CTA buttons that stay with you as you scroll, gently encouraging action without being intrusive. Or autofill forms that remember your details, saving precious time and effort.
It's all about making it ridiculously easy for users to take that desired action, whether it's making a purchase, signing up for a newsletter, or downloading an app, removing any friction that might cause them to hesitate or abandon their journey. But how does this differ from optimizing for desktop? I mean, aren't the principles the same?
While the core principles of CRO remain consistent, the execution differs significantly between mobile and desktop. It's about recognizing that mobile users aren't just interacting with your brand on a smaller screen, they're often in a different mindset altogether.
Right, it's not just about shrinking things down. It's about understanding how the context of mobile usage changes the entire game.
Precisely. Take user intent, for example. Mobile users are often on the go, multitasking, seeking quick answers or solutions. Their browsing is task-focused and driven by immediacy.
It's that need it now mentality, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm on the train, I have 5 minutes before my stop, I need to find that sushi place stat.
Exactly. In contrast, desktop users often have more time to browse, explore, and engage with richer content. This difference in intent impacts everything from design to navigation to the overall pace of interaction.
Well, it's like the difference between grabbing a quick coffee at a kiosk versus settling in for a leisurely brunch.
A perfect analogy. Mobile demands a minimalist approach, vertical layouts, large buttons, clear and concise messaging. Everything needs to be thumb-friendly and easily digestible in short bursts.
Makes sense. No one wants to be squinting at tiny text or wrestling with a multi-level menu on their phone.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of speed and performance. Mobile CRO has to account for varying network speeds and device capabilities. A website that loads in 2 seconds on your desktop might take 10 seconds on a mobile device with a slower connection.
And we all know how impatient we can be when we're on our phones. I've definitely been guilty of abandoning a website if it takes too long to load.
Absolutely. Every second counts in the mobile world. So image optimization, streamlined code, and leveraging techniques like caching are crucial for delivering a snappy experience, even on slower connections.
It's about respecting the user's time and attention. And speaking of things that test our patience, let's talk about forms. I think we can all agree that filling out forms on mobile can be a special kind of torture.
Indeed. Mobile forms need to be short, sweet, and utilize features like autocomplete and mobile-friendly keyboards to minimize user effort. Consider defaulting to a numeric keypad for phone number fields, a small detail that can make a big difference in terms of user frustration.
Right, it's those little things that can make or break the experience.
Okay.
What about the psychology of interaction? Is there a difference between how people interact with their phones versus their desktops?
Absolutely. Mobile interactions feel more personal, immediate, and almost intimate. The device is literally in your hand. It's with you everywhere you go. Mobile CRO needs to tap into that sense of personal connection, delivering instant gratification and a sense of control.
It's almost like a mobile website should feel more like a conversation than a lecture, right?
Exactly. Desktop experiences, while still aiming for user-friendliness, tend to be more task-oriented, providing comprehensive information and supporting a more deliberative decision-making process.
So it's about recognizing that the mobile user might be in a quick coffee break mindset, while the desktop user is more in a leisurely Sunday brunch mode.
A perfect analogy. Now, are you ready to dive into the specific strategies and best practices that can turn your mobile presence into a conversion powerhouse?
Oh, I am so ready. Let's talk tactics. Hit me with those best practices, starting with, what's the foundation here?
Well, we have to start with the foundation responsive design and mobile-first layouts. Those pinch and zoom days. Long gone.
Good riddance. I can't even remember the last time I had to pinch and zoom on a website. It's 2024, come on.
Exactly. A website that doesn't adapt seamlessly to different screen sizes is simply unacceptable. We need to prioritize legible text, flexible layouts that flow effortlessly on different devices, and optimized images that load quickly without sacrificing quality.
Right, because no one wants to be squinting at tiny text or waiting for a blurry image to load.
Yeah.
Especially not on mobile.
And speaking of speed, we've touched on it, but it really can't be overstated. Page load speed is absolutely critical. Research indicates that even a 100-millisecond delay in mobile load time can decrease conversion rates by 7%.
Wow, that's insane. 100 milliseconds, that's like a blink of an eye.
It is. It shows just how impatient we've become as mobile users. Every second counts. So image compression, minimizing code, enabling caching, all of these technical optimizations are crucial.
It's about respecting the user's time and attention. Which brings us back to navigation. I've definitely been on mobile sites where the navigation is just a confusing maze. You're clicking and tapping and swiping and still can't find what you're looking for.
It's frustrating, right? Simplicity is key here. Think thumb-friendly menus, bottom-place navigation buttons that are easily reachable, and minimizing the use of deep submenus.
Right, because no one wants to be digging through multiple layers of menus on their phone. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Exactly. And since we're on the topic of simplifying things, let's talk about forms. We've already established that filling out forms on mobile can be a pain point, so what can we do to make it less painful? Well, the key here is to be ruthless in eliminating any unnecessary fields. Stick to the essentials, use clear and concise labels, and leverage those mobile-friendly keyboards that automatically adjust based on the input type. For example, defaulting to the numeric keypad for phone number fields.
Ah, yes. I love those little details that make a big difference. It's like the designer was actually thinking about how I'm going to use this form on my phone. It feels so much more intuitive.
Exactly. And finally, let's talk about calls to action, or CTAs. Those all-important buttons that guide the user towards taking the desired action. What are some best practices for making them truly stand out on mobile?
They need to be like beacons, right? Drawing the user's eye and making it crystal clear what they need to do next.
Exactly. Size matters here. Aim for buttons that are at least 44 by 44 pixels, or even larger if possible, to ensure easy tapping. Color contrast is equally important. Your CTA should pop off the screen without clashing with your brand's visual identity.
I remember reading about a HubSpot A/B test where a red CTA button outperformed a green one by 21%. It's crazy how such a small change can have a massive impact. What about sticky CTAs, the ones that stay visible as you scroll?
Those can be very effective, especially on longer pages. It's like having a helpful guide gently nudging you in the right direction, ensuring the desired action is always within reach.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here in part one. From responsive design and page load speed to navigation, forms, and CTAs, it's clear that mobile CRO is about more than just shrinking down your desktop website. It's about creating an experience that's tailor-made for the unique context of mobile usage.
Absolutely. It's about understanding that mobile users are often on the go, have different expectations, and are interacting with your brand in a completely different way. And as we move into part two, we'll delve deeper into real-world examples of businesses that are getting mobile CRO right.
Oh, I can't wait. Case studies are like a sneak peek behind the curtain, showing us what works and what doesn't. I'm ready to be inspired.
All right, welcome back to our mobile CRO deep dive.
I'm excited for this part.
Me too. In part one, we covered the basics, like why mobile CRO is important and some general strategies.
Right, the what and the why.
Exactly. But now we're going to look at the who, the companies who are nailing mobile CRO and seeing real results.
I love a good case study. Let's get into it. Who we're looking at first?
Let's start with Zomato, that online food delivery platform.
Okay, yeah, I use Zomato all the time.
So they were dealing with a pretty common issue, right? How do you pack a ton of features into a mobile experience without sacrificing speed?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Because, like, you want all the bells and whistles, but you don't want to be sitting there waiting for the app to load.
Exactly. So their solution was something called progressive loading.
Oh, I think you mentioned that earlier.
I did. So imagine you open up the Zomato app.
Okay.
Instead of seeing a blank screen while everything loads, you see a kind of basic framework.
The bare bones.
Right.
Right.
So you know something is happening. You're not just left wondering if the app froze or something.
Exactly. It gives you that instant feedback.
Uh-huh.
And then the key elements start to load in. The restaurant names, ratings, maybe some pictures to get those taste buds going.
I can see that working. Does it actually make a difference?
Big time. Zomato found that it significantly reduced their bounce rate. Like, people weren't leaving the app as soon as they opened it. And their user engagement went up by 15%. Wow, okay, that's impressive. But I could see it being a little jarring, right? Things just kind of popping in randomly as they load.
That's where those skeleton screens come in. Remember we talked about those?
Yeah, I remember the analogy, like setting the table before the food arrives.
Exactly. They're basically placeholders that show you where things are going to be. It creates that visual continuity so it doesn't feel so jumpy.
It's all about perception, right? Making it feel smooth even if things are still loading in the background.
You got it. And the best part is, this seemingly small change had a huge impact on Zomato's bottom line. They saw an estimated $2 million increase in monthly revenue because of progressive loading.
Okay, so progressive loading check. What's our next case study?
All right, let's move on to ASOS, the online fashion retailer.
Oh yeah, I love ASOS.
They were having a major issue with cart abandonment on mobile.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Adding things to your cart on the go, then maybe getting distracted or deciding you don't need it after all.
That's part of it, but for ASOS, the main culprit was clunky forms.
Ugh, mobile forms. don't even get me started. Those tiny boxes and scrolling forever.
It's a pain, right? And ASOS knew it. So they took a step back and really streamlined their forms. They got rid of any fields that weren't absolutely essential.
Like Marie Kondoing the checkout process, only keeping the information that sparks joy.
Exactly. And it worked. Their mobile cart abandonment rates dropped by 12%.
Wow, just from simplifying the forms.
Yep. Plus, their mobile conversions went up by 5%.
So they made it easier for people to buy things and they actually bought more things. It's a win-win. Did they do anything else?
Oh yeah, they also added things like autofill, so the form fills in your info automatically, and they have one-tap payment options so you can check out with just one touch.
It's all about reducing the friction rate, making it as easy as possible for people to complete the purchase.
Absolutely. ASOS understood that every extra tap, every extra second is a chance for the user to get lost or change their mind.
Okay, I'm getting a lot of good ideas from these case studies. Who else is on our list?
Last but not least, let's talk about Starbucks.
Starbucks. Okay, that's interesting.
Right. They've mastered using mobile to enhance their customer experience and build loyalty.
They were early adopters of mobile, weren't they? I remember when their app first came out.
They were, and they've been innovating ever since. One of the things they do really well is integrating their rewards program into the app.
Oh yeah, I love their rewards program.
Right. It makes buying coffee more fun and engaging. Plus, it encourages people to come back.
I mean, who doesn't love free coffee, right?
Yeah.
But it's more than just the reward itself. It's the whole experience of earning those stars and feeling like a VIP.
Absolutely. It makes customers feel valued. And Starbucks is smart about how they use mobile. Like, they use geolocation.
Geolocation. So they know where I am.
Well, yeah, but they use it to personalize the experience. So if you're near a Starbucks, they might send you a notification about a special offer or remind you to reload your Starbucks card.
That's pretty cool. As long as it's not too creepy.
It's all about finding the right balance. And let's not forget about their mobile ordering and payment options.
Oh yeah, that's a game changer. I order ahead all the time. Skip the line, pay with my phone. It's so convenient.
Right. Starbucks has turned their app into an integral part of the customer experience. It's seamless, personalized, and it's incredibly effective at driving both sales and loyalty.
These are some inspiring examples. It's clear that mobile CRO is so much more than just a technical checklist. It can truly transform a business.
It really can. So as we wrap up this part, what are some key takeaways our listeners can put into action?
Yeah, let's distill those key lessons. What can we learn from these mobile CRO all-stars?
Well, I think the first lesson is to always put the user experience first. Really think about your mobile users, their needs, and their context. Design an experience that feels natural and intuitive on a smaller screen.
It's about empathy, right? Putting yourself in the user's shoes.
Exactly. Second, keep it simple. Mobile users are often on the go. They don't have time for clutter and complexity. Streamline everything, make it easy to find what they're looking for.
Just like that saying, less is more.
Exactly. And third, never underestimate the power of testing. What works for one business might not work for another. Use A/B testing to figure out what resonates best with your specific audience.
Data-driven decisions, love it.
And lastly, remember that mobile CRO is a continuous process. The mobile landscape is always changing, so stay flexible, stay curious, and keep testing and refining your approach.
Great advice. So it's not a one-time fix, it's an ongoing journey.
Exactly. It's a journey worth taking, though, because when you get mobile CRO right, the results can be incredible. And speaking of results, in part 3, we're going to talk about the specific tools and technologies that can help you achieve mobile CRO mastery. We're talking about things like mobile analytics, A/B testing platforms, and heat mapping tools.
No, now we're getting into the nuts and bolts. I'm ready to build my mobile CRO toolkit. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered a ton of ground in the last 2 parts, from the why and how of mobile CRO to real-world success stories.
It's been quite a journey. But now we're at the part I know a lot of listeners have been waiting for the tools.
The mobile CRO toolkit. Let's get hands-on. Where do we start?
First things first, you need to understand what's actually happening on your mobile site. That means analytics. Platforms like Google Analytics 4, Firebase Analytics, or Mixpanel, they're your window into the user's world.
Okay, so we're talking about tracking, right?
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it goes deeper than just seeing how many people visited a page?
Oh, yeah. Way deeper. These platforms track everything. Every tap, scroll, swipe. You can see what paths people are taking, where they're dropping off. It's like a detective's trail of breadcrumbs.
Okay, I'm liking this detective analogy. But all that data, it can be overwhelming. How do you make sense of it all?
That's the beauty of these platforms. They help you make sense of the data. You can segment your audience, filter by specific behaviors, even visualize those user journeys.
So you can really zoom in and see how different groups of people are interacting with your site.
Yeah.
Like maybe people on iPhones behave differently than people on Androids.
Exactly. And that level of detail is crucial for mobile CRO because, let's face it, the mobile experience can vary so much depending on the device, the operating system, the network connection.
So many variables. It's like a whole different world compared to desktop.
It really is. But these analytics platforms help you navigate that world and make data-driven decisions.
Okay, I'm sold on analytics. What other tools should we be adding to our toolkit?
Well, if analytics is about understanding the what, heat maps and session recordings help you understand the why. Tools like Hotjar, Full Story, Mouseflow, they give you a visual representation of user behavior.
Oh, I love visuals. So what do we actually see with these tools?
Imagine a heat map of your mobile site. The warmer the color, the more activity is concentrated in that area. You can see where people are clicking, tapping, scrolling. It's like a heat-seeking missile for user engagement.
I'm getting the picture. So if I see a lot of red around my add to cart button, that's a good thing, right?
Exactly. But if a crucial piece of information is buried in a blue zone, that tells you people are missing it.
Gotcha. And what about session recordings? What's that all about?
Session recordings are even more revealing. You can literally watch a user's session unfold. You see their mouse movements or finger swipes in this case, where they hesitate, where they get stuck.
Okay, so it's like watching a replay of the user's experience.
You got it. And that level of insight is invaluable. You might discover, for example, that people are repeatedly tapping on an element that isn't clickable, or that your navigation menu is totally confusing on mobile.
Wow, it's like you have a secret camera revealing those hidden usability issues.
Exactly. And that knowledge is power. It allows you to go in and make targeted improvements.
So we've got the data, we've identified the problem areas, now what? How do we actually test our solutions and see what works best?
A/B testing, my personal favorite. Tools like Fiber AI and VWO let you create different versions of your site or specific elements and see which one performs better.
So you could test different headlines, different calls to action, different images.
Exactly. You could have one version with a red button and another with a green button, or one version with a long form and another with a short form.
And then you just let the data decide which one wins.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of optimization. And it's especially crucial on mobile, where even small changes can have a big impact.
Right, because the mobile experience is so different, you might not be able to get away with things that work on desktop.
Exactly. And remember, mobile CRO is a journey, not a destination. It's about constant testing, refining, and adapting.
It's like we've been given this amazing toolkit analytics, heat maps, session recordings, A/B testing, to help us navigate the ever-changing world of mobile.
It's an exciting time to be in mobile, that's for sure.
It is. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our mobile CRO deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground from the fundamentals to the finer points, and even armed you with the tools to take action.
I hope our listeners are feeling empowered to embrace the mobile revolution and unlock its full potential for their businesses.
I have no doubt they are. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
It was my pleasure. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in. That's it for this episode of Mind Your Conversions, brought to you by Fiber. I hope you are leaving with fresh ideas and strategies to take your marketing and your conversions to the next level. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. Thanks for listening. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next time.